Ye Xin Lan was tragically forced into marriage by Cao Dan, the alchemical genius from the Cao family, but unexpectedly, Xiao Yan stepped in at the critical moment to save her. Continuing from the previous chapter, Sonair and Xiao Yan had just met in Dan City, but Sonair had to return to the Gu family for personal reasons. However, when Ling Quan, who had come to escort her, learned that Xiao Yan was also at the Yi family, he insisted on capturing him as well. However, after several rounds of exchanges, to everyone's surprise, Xiao Yan easily emerged victorious over him. At this moment, a trace of fear finally appeared in Ling Quan's eyes, as he realized that Xiao Yan had not used any Do skills from beginning to end. Wasn't this a blatant display of disdain? It was only now that he understood that the current Xiao Yan was no longer the minor Do Ling from the Inner Academy. Xiao Yan, feeling no sympathy for Ling Quan, casually threw him against a nearby stone pillar. Ling Quan, suffering from the heavy impact, couldn't help but spit out fresh blood. However, Xiao Yan ultimately spared his life. If it weren't for the concern of bringing unnecessary trouble to Sonair, he would have ensured that Ling Quan wouldn't be able to leave standing. The Black Annihilation Army quickly carried the nearly unconscious Ling Quan away. As for the so-called Elder's Order, they had never received it, and even if they had, with Sonair present, they wouldn't dare to act rashly. After all, they were much smarter than the foolish Ling Quan. After dealing with this matter, Xiao Yan reluctantly turned his gaze to Sonair. Xiao Yan asked, "Leaving already?" Sonair nodded slightly at his words. She had barely met Xiao Yan before Ling Quan and the others chased after her. If she stayed any longer, worse enemies might come. Xiao Yan naturally understood that Sonair had her reasons for leaving urgently, so he reluctantly said, "Wait for me in the Gu family. After I participate in the pill competition and rescue my teacher, I'll come to find you." Sonair replied, "I'll wait for you. Take care, brother Xiao Yan." With that, her delicate figure moved, and she flew up into the sky. Watching Sonair and her entourage gradually disappear, Xiao Yan's fists and his sleeves slowly clenched. In his heart, Xiao Yan vowed, "Sonair is waiting for me in the Gu family. Next time we meet, I'll show them a strength that even the Gu family will notice. I'll prove that your faith in me wasn't misplaced." The Xiao family has no useless members. After bidding farewell to Sonair, Xiao Yan turned to Yizhong to inquire about the pill competition. He needed to quickly improve his strength, and the 3,000 burning flames were something he was determined to obtain. According to Yizhong, there were 7 months left until the selection for the pill competition. Most people would arrive 2 to 3 months early to settle near the competition site, as the initial assessment of the competition was divided into 3 levels: Heaven, Earth, and Human. Only those who passed the Heaven level assessment would qualify for the final round. Therefore, most people would prepare in advance, which meant Xiao Yan had about 2.5 months left to prepare. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's brows furrowed slightly. It seemed that he needed to focus heavily on refining his alchemy skills in the coming months. Although he was confident in himself, this pill competition was not the alchemist conference of the Jiama Empire. The best alchemists from the entire Central Plains and even the whole continent would flock to it. Hence, even Xiao Yan had to take it seriously. Having made up his mind, Xiao Yan asked Yizhong about the qualifications for entering the Pill Tower's elder seat. After all, he had personally promised Xin Lan to help the Yi family regain their elder seat. Hearing this, both Yizhong and Xin Lan were initially stunned, but their faces quickly showed signs of excitement. According to Yizhong, the Pill Tower annually tests the younger generation of the 5 major families. The minimum qualification for this test is that the alchemist must at least be at the 6th tier. To pass, however, one must reach the 7th tier. The most talented among the Yi family's younger generation, Xin Lan, was only a 5th tier alchemist. Seeing Yizhong's gaze, Xin Lan's delicate face was full of shame. If the Yi family failed this time, they would not only lose their qualification for the Pill Tower's elder seat but also be expelled from the 5 major families. Worse still, due to failing the previous 2 assessments, they would need to rank in the top 3 this time to be considered qualified. Xiao Yan couldn't help but shake his head at the Yi family's decline. Others could pass the assessment without sending their most elite talents, but the Yi family couldn't even meet the basic standards. For one of the 5 major families, this was truly pitiful. Xiao Yan wasn't particularly moved by the difficulty of the assessment but was curious if the pill tower allowed external assistance. Ye Xin quickly explained, "No, but there's a workaround, though it might require some sacrifice on your part, Mr. Xiao Yan." Xiao Yan asked, "What do you mean?" After glancing at Xiao Lan, Ye Xin hesitated slightly before saying, "When recommending someone to the pill tower, we might present you as a prospective son-in-law of the Yi family." Xiao Yan responded, "That's a bit much, don't you think?" "I don't mind as a man, but how will this affect the family's reputation?" Ye Xin replied, "Don't worry, Mr. Xiao Yan. It's just a nominal title and won't impose any actual responsibility on you." Seeing Ye Xin's pleading expression, Xiao Yan sighed, "If I turn away now, the Yi family might end up as just another ordinary family." While Xiao Yan pondered, Xiao Lan suddenly knelt before him. "Brother Xiao Yan, please help the Yi family. As long as the Yi family is safe, I'm willing to do anything for you." Xiao Yan was taken aback and quickly helped her up, but the stubborn girl knelt down again as soon as she was upright. Little fairy doctor shook her head helplessly at the scene. You know Xiao Yan's character. If he promised to help, he won't back out. Kneeling like this will only upset him. Xiao Yan sighed and turned his gaze to Ye Xin's pleading face. "Fine, as you wish. But let me be clear, don't try to use the son-in-law trick to keep me in the Yi family. If you try to deceive me, don't blame me for being ruthless." Ye Xin said, "Rest assured, Mr. Xiao Yan. I am not such a shameless person." Beside them, little fairy doctor breathed a sigh of relief. She then glanced at Xiao Lan, noticing her slightly uneasy expression. Could it be that the girl Ye Xin mentioned is Xiao Lan? Hearing this, Xiao Yan's body stiffened, and he forced a bitter smile. "This old man wouldn't be that awful, would he?" Xiao Lan said, "Brother Xiao Yan, don't worry. Grandpa also said this is just a formality. You are destined to be one of the top figures on the continent of Doqi, and I am not a girl who doesn't know my place." Xiao Yan felt a bit awkward hearing this. Without Xiao Lan's information about the 3,000 burning flames, he might still be wandering aimlessly. Since his arrival in Dan City, she had been constantly by his side, helping without a word of complaint. Her efforts made Xiao Yan consider her a true friend. Xiao Yan said, "Let's go along with Elder Ye Xin's plan then. I will cooperate to the best of my ability." According to Ye Xin, there were 4 months left until the pill competition's assessment, and they needed to leave in 2 months. During this time, Xiao Yan planned to focus on improving his alchemy skills. Faced with outstanding alchemists from across the continent and needing to stand out among them, even he had to take it seriously. With the full support of the Yi family, Xiao Yan was spared the trouble of searching for medicinal ingredients. All he needed to do now was refine pills, and regardless of success or failure, he would gain valuable experience. After more than half a month of intense training, Xiao Yan had significantly improved his success rate for refining low-level 7th-tier pills. His success rate for mid-level 7th-tier pills was slightly lower. Although he was better than most ordinary 7th-tier alchemists, it was still far from enough to secure a top 10 spot in the Alchemist Conference. Xiao Yan estimated that he needed to be confident in refining high-level 7th-tier pills. His hand clenched slowly, and a determined look flashed in his eyes. "It's just high-level 7th-tier pills. I'll manage it." With this resolve, Xiao Yan returned to his training. His fervor for refining pills even impressed Ye Xin and the others. It seems his achievements at such a young age are not without reason. Compared to Xiao Yan, the younger generation of the Yi family seemed almost useless. In this nearly fanatical state, Xiao Yan gradually became proficient in refining high-level 7th-tier pills. Given the right conditions, he might successfully refine one at any time. Just as Xiao Yan was about to continue his intensive training after a month had passed, he was interrupted by a sudden, urgent bell. Xiao Yan's expression changed slightly as he recognized this as the Yi family's emergency alarm. Could something have happened to the Yi family? Without hesitation, Xiao Yan quickly got up and headed outside. He had promised Ye Xin that he would help, so he couldn't just ignore it. Besides, he felt a bit guilty since he had consumed most of the Yi family's medicinal supplies during this time. He knew the Yi family had pinned all their hopes on him. As soon as Xiao Yan rushed out of the alchemy room, he encountered little fairy doctor, who was guarding him. According to her, the Yi family indeed had a problem. This time, it was caused by the Qiao family, one of the 5 major families in Dan City. Hearing this, Xiao Yan frowned slightly. He had heard of the Qiao family, known for its abundance of talented alchemists, which had significantly increased its influence in Dan City. Among the 5 major families, apart from the most low-key Dan family, the Qiao family was probably the strongest. Even powerful factions like Ice River Valley wouldn't easily provoke them. Compared to the declining Ye family, the difference was like night and day. According to Little Fairy Doctor, the reason they came was related to a marriage proposal. It was said that when Ye Zhong and the others were desperate, they planned to marry Xiao Lan to the Qiao family to secure their help in passing the assessment. However, this would likely lead to the Ye family gradually being swallowed up by the Qiao family. So, after Xiao Yan appeared, the Ye family abandoned the marriage plan. But now, the Qiao family suddenly insisted on taking Xiao Lan away. Hearing this, Xiao Yan's expression turned grim. "Where's Elder Fire?" Little Fairy Doctor replied, "He's in the front yard, making sure the Qiao family doesn't use force." Xiao Yan said, "Let's go. I want to see what makes the Qiao family so impressive. I've never seen someone trying to forcefully take a person before." Meanwhile, within the main courtyard of the Ye family, nearly 100 figures dressed in light red robes were present. At the forefront of the Qiao family delegation stood 2 red-robed elders, their faces indifferent and their bodies exuding a formidable aura. Most notable, however, was the gray-robed elder and the young man in a purple alchemist's robe standing before them. The young man was none other than the Qiao family's prodigy, Cao Dan. It was said that despite his young age, he had already reached the level of a 7th-tier alchemist. Seeing this group of unwelcome visitors, Ye Zhong's face showed a hint of distress. Ye Zhong said, "Young Master Cao Dan, it is indeed wrong of my Ye family to retract the previous agreement, but the Qiao family did not object at that time. Why are you now making such a scene?" Cao Dan sneered, "The Ye family certainly seems capable now. Elder Ye Zhong, do you truly believe that after the last battle, your Ye family can regain its former glory? My Qiao family is not Ice River Valley." Hearing this, Ye Zhong's face turned ashen, but he did not dare to retort. After all, the Qiao family had produced many outstanding alchemists, whose influence surpassed even that of Ice River Valley. Over the years, they had often assisted some of the continent's Dozun-level superpowers by refining pills for them. With these connections, most people wouldn't refuse the Qiao family's requests. If these influential figures were to gather, even Ice River Valley would be outmatched. At this moment, the gray-robed elder, who had remained silent until now, finally spoke. "Ye Zhong, some things are not easily taken back. Today, we are here under the orders of the Qiao family's patriarch to take the person away." Ye Zhong's face changed dramatically upon hearing this, and he said apprehensively, "Even the Dozun of Bitter Robe has personally come. The Qiao family truly holds my Ye family in high regard. Marrying into the Qiao family might solve their immediate crisis, but it would mean the Ye family would ultimately become part of the Qiao family. This was unacceptable." The gray-robed elder shook his head and then stomped his foot. Under this terrifying pressure, several weaker members of the Ye family turned pale on the spot. As the gray-robed elder unleashed his aura, a figure suddenly appeared before Ye Zhong and the others, stamping the ground and dispersing the elder's formidable pressure. The Dozun of Fire remarked, "Though the Qiao family is powerful, this kind of bullying is quite unbecoming of a prestigious family, don't you think?" The sudden appearance of the Dozun of Fire caused the gray-robed elder to momentarily pause. "Dozun?" the gray-robed elder muttered. Cao Dan, standing beside him, frowned. Although slightly surprised, he was not as fearful as an ordinary person might be. After all, the Qiao family's prowess in alchemy had earned them the respect and requests of numerous Dozun experts over the years. Cao Dan addressed the newcomer, "Senior, I am Cao Dan. Today's matter is between the Qiao and Ye families. We hope you will not interfere. In the future, should you require alchemical assistance, you might turn to the Qiao family." The Dozun of Fire chuckled derisively at this, making it clear that he had better options for alchemical needs and that he was there on Xiao Yan's invitation to protect the Ye family, leaving no room for compromise. Seeing the Dozun of Fire's unwavering stance, Cao Dan's expression darkened. "Today's matter is the Patriarch's order. The person must come with us. Anyone who obstructs us is an enemy of the Qiao family." This threat caused the Ye family members' faces to pale with worry. Just as the hall fell into an uneasy silence, a cold laugh echoed from outside. The Qiao family certainly knows how to throw its weight around, but I won't let you take this person today. As Xiao Yan and the little fairy doctor strode in, Cao Dan's expression turned grim. So this is why the Ye family suddenly found its backbone. It seems you've recruited quite a bit of help, Cao Dan said darkly. Xiao Yan's gaze lingered on the pale blue badge pinned to Cao Dan's chest, a hint of surprise flickering in his eyes. It was the first time in years he had seen such a young 7th grade alchemist, indicating that the Qiao family was indeed worthy of its reputation as a clan of alchemists. Cao Dan, the feud between the Ye family and the Qiao family is just a trivial matter. Why not take a step back? Hearing this suggestion, Cao Dan's eyes flashed with a hint of coldness. After all, when the marriage proposal was made at the Ye family, my family announced it publicly. It would be too shameful to be called off now. Xiao Yan asked, so, Cao Dan, are you insisting on taking someone with you today? In response to Xiao Yan's slightly domineering aura, Cao Dan narrowed his eyes slightly. Xiao Yan, I've heard of you, and I know you're quite the brawler. But you should understand, my Qiao family is not the Ice River Valley. Once my Qiao family makes a move, even you would find it extremely troublesome. Xiao Yan replied, I dare to kill people from the Soul Hall. Do you think your Qiao family would be more challenging to deal with than the Soul Hall? Upon hearing this, Cao Dan's expression changed slightly. Although the Qiao family, with its influence, could indeed be compared to the Ice River Valley, it lost that qualification when it came to the Soul Hall, which stood shoulder to shoulder with the Pill Tower. His Qiao family was merely attached to the Pill Tower. Hearing Xiao Yan's arrogant words, the Dozun of Bitter Robe, standing beside Cao Dan, suddenly unleashed his Do Qi. At the same time, the Dozun of Fire and Little Fairy Doctor, who were on either side of Xiao Yan, with a light shout, actually suppressed the aura of nearly 100 people including the Dozun of Bitter Robe. Only now did Cao Dan finally realize the disparity in strength between the two sides. Now, not only could they not forcibly take Xian Lan away, but if Xiao Yan was unwilling, it would be extremely difficult for them to leave safely. However, Cao Dan did not come here to leave empty-handed. So, when he learned that Xiao Yan was also an alchemist, he proposed a competition with him. If Cao Dan lost, his Qiao family could give up on this marriage affair, but if he won, Xiao Yan would not be allowed to interfere in this matter. Hearing this, Xiao Yan immediately smiled and said, Oh, I wonder how young Master Cao Dan wants to bet. Seeing Xiao Yan's interest, Cao Dan's sneer in his heart quickly expanded. After all, if it really came down to a fight, he might not be a match. But when it came to competing in alchemy, he would make Xiao Yan in front of him know what self-humiliation was. Cao Dan said, since we are both alchemists, let's compete according to the rules of alchemists to play with fire. As soon as the words fell, a pale black flame suddenly rose slowly from Cao Dan's palm. This fire was the Heaven's Shadow Demon Fire, taken from the body of the 8th rank magical beast, Heaven's Shadow Tri-Headed Lion. Although its power is not comparable to that of a heavenly flame, ordinary flames are also hard to compete with it. Hearing Cao Dan's words, Ye Zhong immediately advised Xiao Yan not to compete with him, because as far as he knew, this person not only had a very high talent in flame control, but also in the Qiao family, there were very few who could surpass him. Hearing this, a trace of surprise also flashed through Xiao Yan's eyes, but then he smiled faintly. Cao Dan asked, how about it? If you dare not, just say it. I am not a person who forces others. Xiao Yan said, the words force others coming out of your mouth really seem ridiculous. Since you like it, then I will accompany you. With a flick of his finger, a fire wolf condensed from the green lotus core flame slowly emerged. The appearance of the blue fire wolf caused the temperature of the area to suddenly soar, and at that moment, Cao Dan's pupils also shrank abruptly. Cao Dan said, it really is a heavenly flame, the rumors are indeed true. But playing with fire is not just about the strength of the flame. Having a heavenly flame does not necessarily mean you can win. As soon as the words were spoken, he controlled the fire eagle condensed from the black flame to charge at the fire wolf. Looking at the two fire beasts tearing at each other in the sky, the people below were all somewhat amazed. After all, such a contest that relied solely on the flames was quite rare. At this moment, Xiao Yan stood with his hands behind his back, his gaze fixed on the battle in the sky. the control of the fire beast was just a matter of his thoughts, and this contest was also a competition of the strength of the soul power. Compared to Xiao Yan's carefree demeanor, Cao Dan's expression was a bit more solemn, and after the first collision of the fire beasts, he also knew that this time he really hit a tough spot. Looking at the slightly dim black eagle in the sky, Cao Dan's eyebrows immediately wrinkled, and after a moment, he took out a group of beast flames from a jade bottle, and under Cao Dan's control, it turned into a blood-red hunting dog, and then rushed into the battle circle in the sky. Seeing this scene, the courtyard suddenly echoed with a series of exclamations. It is known that controlling each type of flame requires a considerable amount of soul power, and controlling 2 flames consumes even more. It seems that Ye Zhong's statement that Cao Dan's talent in controlling fire is excellent is not unreasonable. However, even so, Xiao Yan's fire wolf did not quickly collapse, but instead, it kept avoiding flexibly under his control. Seeing this situation, a ruthless look flashed through Cao Dan's eyes, and he summoned 2 more flames, one gray and one purple, which also turned into fire beasts and rushed up. Under the siege of the 4 fire beasts, even if the fire wolf was formed by a heavenly flame, it was somewhat unable to withstand such a fierce offensive. Although controlling 4 flames is indeed very powerful, it can be seen from Cao Dan's pale face that this should be his limit. Looking at the retreating fire wolf, Cao Dan's smile on his face became thicker and thicker. Xiao Yan, playing with fire is not just about quality, quantity is also very important. Xiao Yan glanced at him lightly, then smiled slightly. Thank you, young Master Cao Dan, for reminding me. In that case, let's win by quantity. With a flick of his finger, 10 jade bottles appeared, and 10 flames of different colors turned into 10 ferocious fire beasts in the eyes of everyone who was dumbfounded. These flames were originally the nourishment Xiao Yan provided for the life-transforming flame, but later with the core fire bead, these beast flames lost their effect, but unexpectedly, they were now useful. At this moment, Xiao Yan looked at the nearly stunned Cao Dan and said teasingly, "Just controlling 4 flames, and you dare to come out and compete with people in playing with fire?" Looking at the 11 flames in the sky, the courtyard was suddenly silent. After a while, there were exclamations of cold air. It is known that controlling each additional flame has a considerable demand on the soul power, and Cao Dan's ability to control 4 flames is enough to make him reach a point where he is hard to find an opponent in the Cao family. But now Xiao Yan has made him understand what it means to be humbled by the realization that there is always someone better than you. At this moment, Cao Dan's eyes were filled with disbelief. After all, Xiao Yan looked much younger than him. How could he control 11 flames? Even his sister, who was revered as a demon girl in the family, couldn't achieve this level. Cao Dan said, "How is this possible? It's impossible." At this moment, Cao Dan's eyes turned much redder, and he then controlled the 4 fire beasts in the sky to rush violently towards Xiao Yan's group of colorful fire beasts. However, the final result was that they slowly dissipated under the siege of Xiao Yan's 11 fire beasts. When the last fire beast dissipated, Cao Dan's body also trembled, and he hastily retreated 2 steps, finally being caught by 2 elders behind him. From his appearance, his soul power had also suffered some considerable damage. Only now did he realize that the bet he thought he was best at had been so miserably defeated in Xiao Yan's hands. At this moment, Xiao Yan looked indifferently at the somewhat stunned Cao Dan and said slowly, "Young Master Cao Dan, please leave."